Madam Deputy Speaker, my party, the Liberal Democrats, those of us who are left, still feel very proud of the part we played in getting this country this far. The Chancellor said he wanted to abolish the Liberal Democrats, and given he has failed to meet every other budget target, that is the best news I have heard in months. The Chancellor, in his more generous moments, and I'm sure he has some, will acknowledge that Britain is a stronger and in a stronger economic position today because of the choices that we made. So Britain is now at a crossroads. The structural deficit will be gone next year, so the Chancellor is choosing to make unnecessary cuts to meet an unnecessary target. It is his choice to remove support from people with disabilities. It is his choice to cut universal credit. It is his choice to stand by as child poverty increases. We got this country to the crossroads with the government now, but the Chancellor has chosen the path into the mire. We've heard an awful lot of what we heard from the Chancellor today before. Big promises from the dispatch box that never get met, less long-term plan, more short-term scam. A microwave budget reheated again. Transport projects delayed and abandoned, housing projects stalled and unfunded. And not only are flood-hit communities like mine left desperately holding out our hands for urgent support, he is asking flood victims to pay through their premiums for the defences that he should have already built in the first place. Actions speak louder than words. The cost to Cumbria of the highways destruction, the infrastructure destruction by the floods in December is £500 million. This government has given £2 million. The main road that connects the whole of the Lake District is still closed. Never mind the fact that it is costing small businesses and big businesses across the Lake District £1 million a day all the time that A591 is shut because his government cares little about the North. It will make grand announcements. It will achieve nothing. £125 million in EU solidarity funding that the government was dragged kicking and screaming to apply for. Not a penny of it today dedicated to the North or any of the communities reeling and recovering from the floods that hit us in December, and no mention at all of fully funding any one of the flood relief projects that were mentioned in the Chancellor's speech. And he says today that this is a budget to help young people, and says he wants to increase the length of the school day. But what good is a longer school day when there is no one at the front to teach? Those of us who do not have tens of thousands of pounds to send our children to private schools have more sympathy for those people working in the state sector, more sympathy for teachers who teach our children. You see, I don't want my children to be put and have their children's. I don't want my children's teachers to be put under ever greater pressure. I want more teachers. I want them to be paid a fair wage. I want them to have the time and the space to create, to inspire and to teach. If he wants teachers, if he wants schools to increase the school day, to lengthen the school day, then he must give teachers the money they need to do it properly. This is a repeat of the 7-day-a-week NHS. What the Health Secretary is doing to junior doctors, the Chancellor now wants to do to teachers. Teachers underpaid, overworked, undervalued by this government. And every school knows that there is a massive recruitment and retention crisis, absolutely and totally ignored by the Chancellor. We know the drive to compulsorily move all schools to academies is about centralisation, not localisation. It's about changing the deck chairs and making life harder for head teachers and for teachers. Listening to special advisers rather than listening to teachers, and it is hugely damaging for our educational system, hugely damaging for our children. So the fundamental problem in the schools I know at the moment across the country is a recruitment and retention crisis. And the government today is choosing to put teachers under extra pressure. Instead, he should pay our teachers more. And maybe the Chancellor knows young people who have the ability to save £4,000 a year. I don't. So let me enlighten the Chancellor. The lack of an ISA scheme isn't the reason young people are not saving. It is the debt and soaring house prices that he is heaping upon them. Now, this Chancellor's ambition is not to devolve power. It is to devolve debt. His decision on business rates That is a good one for business, one that we have been calling for. But he refuses to pay for the devolution of business rates, so that will be disastrous, therefore, for the communities in which those businesses are located. He is moving his tough decisions onto local government. Social care, local transport, rubbish collections will all be under much greater threat. And with his changes to public sector pensions, our schools and hospitals face a further bill of £2 billion. That is a stealth tax on education and health, not a headline for the Chancellor, a massive headache for head teachers and for doctors and for nurses. So, this is the Chancellor's sweet and sour budget. He makes bold claims that never materialise, masking real pain. No serious immediate investment in transport or broadband or housing or green energy, just far-off plans that only exist on a Whitehall spreadsheet. Plans written by political advisers, no doubt, high-fiving each other in the boardroom over grand announcements that will never actually materialise, ignorant to the impact they have on real people. The Chancellor talks about fixing the roof when the sun is shining. There is 0% interest rate. The sun is shining, yet the Chancellor chooses to knock holes in the roof. This would be the moment to be ambitious and to invest in the infrastructure, the long term of our economy, of our country. On the one side, there is a government choosing to attack the very fabric of our communities, and sadly on the other, an opposition to focus on themselves to be able to stand up for the real people in this country. We owe our constituents and we owe Britain better than this. It is time. We had a government who showed the people in this country, the people who care for us, those who teach our children and the people who keep us safe, a little more respect. Britain deserves better.